Go Tenant was born out of an idea. I was at a property myself many years ago, and I was receiving bookings on my mobile phone, and I was taking calls, and sometimes I wasn't getting back to prospective tenants, and it was just becoming a nightmare. I didn't have a diary, I had no system at all, and I was literally just losing bookings on the hour, every hour. And I thought, there's got to be something out there that can take care of the whole of the tenanting process from start to finish. And I was looking for something, I couldn't find anything at all. There were loads of property management platforms out there, but nothing that actually took care of the property management and the tenant recruitment process. So I decided to make my own. And several years ago, I created this system, third-party system that used third-party applications, and I pieced them all together to make it work, and it was fantastic. It worked really well, and it did everything that I wanted it to do. But the issue was that it was third-party systems, and we were having to link them together through the back end of the program, and it didn't flow as well as we wanted it to. So we then decided to take the bull by the horns and put all of these systems together and create what we now know as Go Tenant. So what is Go Tenant? Well, I thought about this question loads, and it's really hard to answer in one brief interview because Go Tenant does so much. It's an all-encompassing property management platform and a tenant onboarding system. So it's really in two parts, and it is so versatile that you can actually make it your own. You can choose to change almost everything within the program to suit your own needs. So this is how we've done it to suit our business. We've got a large portfolio, and to start from the beginning, what we do is we advertise our properties on the Go Tenant website, and that allows you to put all of the properties that you have available, and then you can advertise that link to your website on any third-party advertising system. So we advertise our properties, the tenant will come along and they will click on the Go Tenant website. The Go Tenant website then will showcase all of the properties we have available, and they will click on a property that they're interested in. They will then be invited to go to a viewing page where they can select a time and a date that works for them, and that's linked to our office diaries or our office calendar, and they can't book a viewing if there is no space available. So you get rid of all the double bookings straight away, no issues at all. When they select a viewing and a time that works for them, they are then invited to go to a pre-qualifying questionnaire. And we ask them about 13 pre-qualifying questions. And then when they fill out those questions and hit submit, they will get a text message with the details of the property. And then you'll get a notification in the Go Tenant dashboard to say that you've got a new viewing and that they've filled out we call it the Getting to Know You form. You can then view the Getting to Know You form, all of those pre-qualifying questions within the Go Tenant platform. So once you've read them, if you're happy to accept the viewing, then all you have to do is click approve. If you don't want to accept the viewing, the great thing is you can just click decline, and Go Tenant will text the applicant and tell them that unfortunately their application has been unsuccessful on this occasion. And you can set all of that up through the app. Now the great thing here is we are screening our tenants at the very beginning of the process before we even do a viewing, rather than at the end, because we don't want to waste any of our time doing tenant viewings when we know that they're just not going to be suitable. So if they are suitable, what happens next is that 2 hours before the viewing, you can set that time. You can be anything from 5 minutes up to a day. The tenant will get a reminder text message. And on that reminder message, they have to reply to it to say confirm or to cancel. If they do confirm, then that will go directly to your dashboard on Go Tenant to tell you that they have confirmed. If they don't confirm, you can choose to set Go Tenant to text them automatically to cancel the viewing. So again, there are no wasted viewings at all, and you're only going to go to a property that the tenant prospect has confirmed. When you get to the property and show the tenant round, if the tenant wants to take the room, then you go onto the Go Tenant mobile app on your mobile phone, and you are then prompted to complete the right to rent form, when you can take photographs of the tenant's identification and upload them onto the right to rent form. You can then send a text message to the tenant with an application link so they can reserve the property there and then for you. If they reserve the property, they will be invited to go to PayPal and pay a reservation fee. What happens then is they are sent an automatic email and text message in the background with a link to the full application form. They can go away then and complete the application form at their own leisure. When they complete the application form, whoever they put down as their current employer and their current landlord, well, those people will automatically receive from Go Tenant a reference request. And you will be told when the reference requests have been sent via your dashboard, and you will also be told when they are received via your dashboard. So Go Tenant does all of this for you, so you don't have to do it. All you need to do then is check the references, and if you're happy, then you can send the contracts directly through Go Tenant using Signable. There's no need for any third-party applications. It's all within the system. Go Tenant will pull down all of the necessary documents that you've set up in the property section, and it will send them along with the pre-populated AST contract or license agreement. Go Tenant pre-populates that from the information that's provided in the application form and sends it to the tenant all within the platform. You will get a notification when the tenant signs and a notification when the documents have all been completed. Now, the great thing is that the tenant also has their own Go Tenant app, and they can download or view their documentation at any time in the future, so they never have to contact you in order to do that. Once the contracts have been signed and you've got your notification on your Go Tenant dashboard, then Go Tenant will automatically place them in the room of the correct property for you and store all of the necessary documentation in the cloud on Go Tenant, so you can access it at any time. So Go Tenant also allows you to do full inventories should you choose to do them, and you can create your own inventory within the application. So that's the tenanting side of Go Tenant. Now we've also got the property management side as well. So Go Tenant, as I said before, comes in two halves. The second half is the property management section. So Go Tenant will allow you to list as many properties, single lets or HMOs as you want to, and it's unlimited. And you can then list your individual rooms within those properties. Go Tenant will then ask you to upload the contract for those individual properties, and that's a contract that it will automatically use when your tenant goes through the system. You can then upload all of your documentation, such as your EPC, your electrical safety testing certificate, and your alarm testing certificate, and anything else at all that you need to put into the system. And Go Tenant will automatically send those documents along with the AST contracts to the tenant upon signing. So you've got an audit trail and accountability all the way through the system, and you can prove that those documents were sent to the tenant. Now, Go Tenant will automatically pull from the government website the How to Rent handbook. So as soon as your tenant applies for a property or for a room in a property, they will be given via email the government How to Rent handbook automatically. You don't have to do anything. Go Tenant does all of that for you. So back to the property section, Go Tenant will remind you when any documentation is coming to its expiry date. You can set reminders from an hour up to 5-6 weeks in advance. And Go Tenant will send you a reminder, and it will also show in the property section when the reminder's due. If you have a document that is expired, when you get to the contract section before you send it to your tenant, Go Tenant will remind you and say to you that you're about to send a document that's expired, and you have the choice then to not send it or continue or to replace that document. So Go Tenant does so much. It does so much more than that, and really, really pleased to have this phase of Go Tenant now available to everybody. Now, this is a complete game changer. It's absolutely changed the way that we do our business. It gives us better tenants because it expels all of the bad applications at the beginning, rather than us having to concentrate on due diligence at the end when we've already put lots of time and effort into that particular person. It gives us the best tenants, which decreases the risk of having any arrears, and it decreases the risk of having void properties as well. So it's an all-encompassing tenant recruitment system and property management system. So Go Tenant was built by landlords for landlords, and we've plugged all of the gaps that the other property platforms just don't do. I really hope you enjoy using Go Tenant as much as we do, and don't forget to leave us some feedback when you're on board with the system.